I was not familiar with firearms. Growing up in New York, where I did, it was not part of our culture. It wasn't part of my life at all. So I was really very afraid of firearms. So kind of in my ignorance, I didn't allow them in my home, when my children were young. I didn't even let the boys play with guns or squirt guns and things like that because I just had that, negative association with them, although I didn't really know about them at all. I was a single mom, and as my children were growing and heading off to college, that's really what triggered my transition. I was working with the homeless and dealing with people with poverty at that time, which took me to a tough part of town. So the combination of a tough part of town and being a little fearful and my children leaving is what started me really feeling vulnerable for the first time. And so I started thinking, well, what would I do? I started doing research and trying to find answers to my questions and just learn about them. And what I found was really frustrating to me because in trying to find that information, what was available was either very over-sexualized, there was that side of the gun world that was, women in bikinis shooting guns, and so that didn't speak to me, that didn't work for me. And then on the other side, what I found was fairly condescending. I was smart enough and I could make my own decisions. I just needed the information that answered my questions as a woman on whether or not a firearm was a good choice for me, how could I live with it, how could I wear it, all of those things. And none of that was there. I felt that there was a real need, and it kind of was, well, if no one's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
We curved it to match the hip angle of women.
Due to overwhelming demand, the Well-Armed Woman is now expanding its office and warehouse space in Arizona. And its chapter program, launched as a nonprofit in 2013, has grown to more than 650 locations in 49 states.
Welcome, everyone.
It's great. It's not an intimidating environment, which I think a lot of women are intimidated by guns. They're scared of them. They don't want to touch them. And I think that's the wrong attitude. You need to learn. I think you owe it to yourself to learn, and this is the perfect environment to do that in.
We come from all walks of life, all social stratas, and it's exciting to see more women becoming responsible for their safety through gun education.
What I want is for women to make the best decision that they can for themselves. It is not my mission to put a gun in every woman's hand. My goal is to create the place, the resource where they can come, get the information in a non-biased manner, and make their best decision for themselves, not one that's based on an emotional fear.